Reedsport's 16 miles down the road, and then this is paved all the way to Eugene, and it pops you out in Crow, and you can go to Eugene. But I've just lived out here my whole life, and like went to school in Reedsport for my whole life, and I don't know, just constantly being surrounded by it. Definitely had an influence on me, and like the store my dad and my grandma have had for like 36 years. So just all the people that come in and out, like probably the majority of all those people are working out in the woods, working out here doing something. And so as a kid, like I got to talk to all those people and just kind of see what they were doing, all the loggers, and like my grandpa on my mom's side was a timber faller, and my uncle also did that for a little bit. Just being around it constantly, like, had so much to do with it, but I never saw myself working out in the woods. I don't know why. It just was not that I couldn't see myself doing it. It just wasn't on my mind at all. Like I loved living out here, and I definitely saw myself like when I got older. I'm like, yeah, I want to live out here, and like this is where I want to like probably spend the rest of my life is somewhere out in the woods. But I never saw myself working out in the woods just because I didn't know what was out there. My senior year of high school, had no idea what I wanted to do. But like halfway through the year, I went up to visit Hunter. She just kind of got to talking with me when I went up to visit one weekend, and she's like, "Well, what do you want to do? Like, what's your plan?" And I don't know. Like, she like sat me down at the computer and she had me go through a bunch of questions that told me stuff like I might be good at, and it was all like within forestry. It was like a College of Forestry like questionnaire thing, and said what I might be good at, like in the industry or in forestry. Um, and so I kind of did that, and I was like, yeah, that might be something interesting. Like, I think my only thing I wanted to do, I was like, I just don't want to be stuck in an office all day. I'm like, that's all I care about. I'll do anything else. So I took an intro to forestry class that after I went and visited her sometime in the spring, through SWAC. It was through my high school, but I took it through SWAC online, and that was a really cool class. But like, still, I wasn't really sure if that was going to be something I was going to be doing my whole life. And I even got to interview Hunter for one of my assignments, which was cool. And she was getting ready to graduate from OSU and already had a job lined up and was going to go be a forester. So that was really cool getting to talk to her and see like what she was going to be doing. But again, I had no experience in it, and I didn't even know what a forester was other than what Hunter told me. So I ended up going straight to OSU after I graduated, and like I did take some forestry classes right away. Like I took surveying that fall, but it just wasn't really sticking because I didn't have the experience to tie it to. So like, yeah, it was cool, but I didn't really know fully what I was doing. And then I got in my first internship that next summer after I had it my first year of school, and I think that's definitely when the excitement and like passion started to kick in, because I'm like, okay, I've lived outside my whole life and been out surrounded by trees my whole life, but like now I'm working in it and seeing like kind of how the private sector works in the timber industry, and I'm like, yeah, this is definitely something I could see myself doing for the rest of my life. It's kind of funny too, because like, it's not really that the classes that I was taking really changed my mind. It was really when I started working and like seeing all these people and meeting them and seeing what their experiences was, how they got to where they are. And I think that's kind of what sticks out to people, is hearing other people's stories. Yeah, it's so awesome the way that like things work out. Like, most people's paths, at least like the people that I work with, it's like you graduate high school, somehow you get into college and you get a forestry or forestry related degree, and like you kind of get into the industry. But I think the most unique stories are the people who like might not have started out like going to college or even being in the industry, someone with a completely different job, and like somehow they ended up here. Like those are my favorite stories to listen to, seeing how kind of they got to where they are now. Because it's just not what you normally hear. I feel like I said, the normal path is just OSU, and then you're somehow working in the industry. I also loved seeing different areas, because literally you could go right down the road, and Roseburg owned that, and they were like, oh, so do you want to work like basically in your backyard? And it was kind of funny that I said no, because I'm like, I just want to see a different area. So I went and worked in Dillard, um, and just got to see a lot of things south of Dillard and just a lot of places that I might have drove through but had never really been around that much. And so that was really interesting to me, just getting to see all these new places and learning all these new roads that I didn't know and going out with different people and seeing what their jobs were. But I still like engineering really stuck out to me. So I've pretty much been doing unit layout and road layout for the majority of my internships throughout school. But going out with those different people really helped me figure out exactly what I wanted to do. Like, I didn't want to be in a clear cut all day. That kind of stood out to me because that's kind of what the foresters were doing. Um, I just decided, I'm like, yep, I want to be in the trees right before they get ready to harvest, or at least a little bit before. So that was something I really was interested in. And also, it was cool getting to start my internship. Um, I started my first internship before the new rules changed as far as like stream rules and stuff. So my first internship, we were doing like basal area buffers, and then now we're not anymore. I wasn't like, oh, this is how we've been doing it for so long, and now I have to change. It was just I learned this way, and then I learned a different way. But it was good just seeing kind of all those rules having to go through the process of getting implemented and everything. So like in January of 2024, I've worked like every um, winter break. I've worked every winter break, so just getting to see those new rules kind of get implemented and how things have changed, even through my time during the internships, was pretty cool. I mean, so many people go to school and they don't know what they want to do, or they don't even end up using the degree. And I definitely think after like my first internship, it's like, no, this is what I want to do. I'm whatever I have to do to get to this, like, that's what I'm gonna do. I had to choose, was Smith River gonna be the place that I was gonna work? Because, I mean, most of it is gonna be, you're either gonna be working for SPI or you're gonna be working for Roseburg. Was that something I wanted to do, or did I want to go elsewhere? And like my very first summer, I was just kind of, well, I was going to OSU, and so I might as well choose like an internship that was maybe not necessarily right at home or in my backyard practically. So working in Dillard was super cool, and I did get the opportunity to work back up here. I literally took every opportunity that I could. I'd work a winter break, even spring break, which is literally only a week. But I also had a term, maybe my second year back in school, I had a term where somehow, I don't know how, but I only had classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and so I ended up working a lot during that term too. So I think it was like they didn't need a lot of help up out of their Vaughn office for Roseburg, but I also worked at their seed orchard too, in Lebanon, which was a completely like unique experience. Like, it's just not really something, especially with like the career as far as like engineering that I chose. It's just not something you're really gonna get to be a part of unless you go like do a tour or something. And even then, it just goes right over your head because it's so technical. It's just so hard to understand. But getting the experience to like work at the seed orchard was so cool. Monday I'd work up here, and then like Wednesday and Friday I'd work at the seed orchard. But like, I don't know, I kind of was joking with the guys that I was working with because they were like, this is like the worst place you could work, but I'm like, I have to because it's home. But it also kind of made me realize that like I do love it up here, but working up here would be a really hard job. I mean, all the time. And so I think that's what makes Coos Bay so unique, is it definitely has hard ground, but I would not say it is anything compared to Smith River. So I think that part was like, I just got the perfect location for me. Like, it's close to home, but it's not Smith River, which also is kind of cool because it wouldn't make me hate Smith River either. So that part is cool. I tried to make it work. Like, I loved being in Corvallis, but it just wasn't home, you know. I didn't do logging sports, but I tried to get into the forestry club and help out with different things, but I still kept finding myself coming home every weekend. It just, I don't know, there's nothing like it, especially like just driving up Smith River. Like, as soon as I hit the Smith River Road sign, it's like, it just puts a smile on my face. I love being home. I definitely think like the community up here has like brought me back to my roots, like being up in Corvallis. So I switched online to natural resources, which, you know, was kind of different. It's not like forestry or forest engineering, but I've been doing the same things. It's just something that I could be back home, which is kind of different. I feel like it's not really the same experience as most of the students at OSU. But it's so hard to leave like such a beautiful place up here, and like the community up here is definitely different than I think anyone else has probably experienced. But I love coming back to like especially the schools down here. I'd love to like go talk at like Reedsport and talk about forestry and everything and all the jobs, like because there's so many different job opportunities. Like there's gonna be kids that like engineering, or there's gonna be kids that like civiculture and want to do more of that, or there's maybe a kid wants to go drive log truck. Like we're all a part of the community and all a part of like the industry. So I'm getting ready to finish school pretty soon, and I'm still working. I've never really stepped outside of the private sector, which could be good or bad. I know a lot of people like to try out different things, go work for the Forest Service or BLM, or then work for like a private company. But I've really liked working in the private sector, and I probably see myself doing that for the rest of my career. Um, yeah, I just really like it, and I like all the people that I work with now. And just finishing up school and trying to get done with it. I'm so ready to be done, and I feel like I've said that for so long. To be a woman who knows the woods, I think it means something so much different than just anybody who works out in the woods. Like for me, it's like there's just such a like special group of people, like the women who work in the woods. It's so much different than just kind of anybody out there. But just like the group that you get into, like there's not many people even like at the office that I work in that there's girls there, but the majority of it is always men. Like even when you go out to like a logging site or something, like the majority of people in the industry are male. So just having that community has been amazing. I mean, I have met so many different people, both like at work and at school, and like all the different organizations and stuff that like I've gotten to be a part of. I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of something special that I feel like you don't get everywhere else. I mean, it's just a whole nother world, like all the women who work in the woods. Like, I just feel like not that we've all had the same experiences, but we just all, like, can connect with each other and kind of be on, like, the same level. And it's just cool to know that there's somebody in your corner. Like, every single time that I meet someone that also works in the woods, it's like we just automatically connect because we're like, oh, you work in the woods too, you know? But it's just awesome because there's just not a community like that anywhere else.